Today's outing, we are driving towards Earl's Combe on our way to our destination, which is a place we've been to a few times. More to follow. Whoops, get bumpy. And here we are back at Kentwell Hall for their Dickensian Christmas. Hopefully we'll be able to take some videos while we're inside. We're now in the dining room and we just had a very interesting chat with Charles Darwin's daughter. He wasn't in. I'm afraid we missed him, but he might have been the old fellow that walked past us as we were gaining entrance to the house. We'll pop back and see if he's returned.
Similar to a lizardy salamander. Breathe blood.
That's interesting.
But that's even not as interesting as the other thing. If they damage something,
Oh, they can grow it back.
they can grow it back,
Ah.
including its brain.
Oh!
And even that's not as interesting as the next bit. If you take, I'm not suggesting you do, but if you take two salamanders, cut them in half, and swap the bottoms,
Yeah.
push them together and leave them for 24 hours, what do you think will happen?
They fuse together.
And
Survive. Oh, wow.
I wrote this little story a few years ago now, and I have given readings up and down the country and across the world, even in the United States of America. I think they understood it. Let us start. A Christmas Carol. Before I start, could I ask if anyone needs to leave during the performance, if they go by the back door? Shut it, thank you. To begin with, Marley was dead. Dead and most securely buried. Scrooge and he had been being covetous, hard as flint. It was Christmas Eve, and old Scrooge sat in his counting house with the door open so that he might keep an eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a dismal, dank little cell beyond was copying letters. It was cold, biting, bitter, and the fog poured in through every chink and keyhole. Scrooge himself had a small fire, but the clerk tried to warm himself at his candles, he demanded. Well, there are, returned the gentleman, and I wish I could say there were not. Many can't go there, and many would rather die. If they would rather die, returned Scrooge, they had better do it quickly and decrease the surplus population. But Scrooge, all alone. He took off his cravat, put on his nightcap, and sat down. Humbug, said Scrooge as he sat down. Christmas is hypocrisy and humbug. Ghosts in haunted houses are described as dragging chains. And then he heard steps coming up the stairs. It's humbug still, said Scrooge. I refuse to believe it. But his colour changed when, without a pause, it came on through the wall and passed into the room right before his eyes. That face. It was Marley. The chain he drew with the fearsome clanking was fastened about him. Who are you? Demanded Scrooge. Ask me who I was. In life, partner Jacob Marley. Believe in me, observed the ghost. Why do you doubt your senses? And he raised a fearful howl. Scrooge fell from the chair onto his knees. Mercy! He implored. Dreadful spirit! Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me? Asked Scrooge in wonder. Who and what are you? Humble entreaty asked, are you the spirit of Christmas yet to come? The spirit made no answer, but pointed. Ghost of the future, exclaimed Scrooge, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. They went from thence. Scrooge saw himself conducted by the spirit through several streets, familiar now to him, to enter once more Bob Cratchit's house. Everyone looked older. Mother and children sitting around a low fire. Quiet. Very quiet. A quick footfall from outside the front door, and Bob Cratchit entered. Think, Scrooge, you should be glad. He will decrease the surplus population. Scrooge dropped his head and felt his disbelief flow into his sagging limbs. When he looked up, the spirit had melted. Scrooge's eyes